And we say good morning to you. Welcome aboard. We are live. We are. We are working on some glitches. We always have glitches. It's Glitch City. But we do appreciate our buddy Jeremiah helping us out here. We are live again at Bristol Motor Speedway on this Monday, March the 13th, 2017. And we say good morning to you, our 477th show. And so we got lots to talk about. We had even more to talk about. But again, due to the fact that we got some audio and video problems, and we will hope to rectify that. I'm not sure why, but we do. And so, anyway, thanks for being with us. Again, it is a Monday, March the 13th. We dedicate this show, regardless of what happens. I always dedicate this show to the Lord Jesus, and I know full well that the enemy doesn't want this show to do its thing because of the very fact we talk about the Lord. I know that, and we know that going in. So, anyway, verse of the day is out of the book of Psalms. Psalms 25, 8 and 9 says, I am good and upright. I will teach you to walk in my paths. Strive to be humble. I will guide you in justice and teach you my ways, which are mercy and truth. So there you go. And we say good morning, and we appreciate you being with us. Again, we're live at Bristol Motor Speedway. Here's today's lineup on the screen. We were gonna hear and see videos of Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Larson. That'll be we'll table that till tomorrow. We're going to be live at where we're going to be tomorrow. We're going to be American Import and Auto Repair, or we may be taking a day off. Tomorrow may be a good time to take a day off. It is spring break. We got little people running around wanting to hang out, so we may do that. And so we may, we may again take a break tomorrow, but we'll see. So looking really good so far. Keep going. Okay, Coach. I got you. So, okay, so let's roll with this thing. Let's focus and get going. So, again, good morning to you. We are live. We'll make sure the glitchers are gone. The glitches apparently are gone. So, we're here again at Bristol Motor Speedway. Gosh, where do we start? We got March Madness. We got college basketball. Big time in March Madness. We got NASCAR. How about the bloody fight? I guess you saw in the video. We'll try and have that for you tomorrow. But we saw the hammer down yesterday. Kyle Busch and Joey Logano mixing it up. Actually, Logano didn't mix up much of anything. It was Kyle Busch going into the crowd of Penske crew there after the race, not happy the way things ended. As a result, went in, got pummeled, and got thrown down on the ground and came out into the bloody forehead. So we'll see how NASCAR reacts to all that. And so it'll be interesting. I can guarantee you this, it's selling tickets this week at Phoenix and selling tickets here at Bristol Motor Speedway, where we are, by the way, in the lobby of the Bruton Smith Building, here broadcasting live on this, our 477th show. Again, the countdown to the Food City 300 down to what, 37 days, is that right? 37 days of Bush's Beans Pole Day, 38 days to the Fitzgerald Gliders 300, the K&N Series race on that Saturday, and then also we're down to 39 days, I should say, to Bristol Motor Speedway. As a matter of fact, let's go right now and tell you on the screen, win tickets to the NASCAR Xfinity Series Fitzgerald Glider Kit 300 and the K&N Series coming up on the 22nd. How do you do that? Go to TomTaylorSports.com/contest. There's all the prompts, and that's what you need to know, and that's how you can win tickets to go and come here, I should say, to Bristol, the Xfinity Series Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 coming up on Saturday, April the 22nd. And again, all you got to do is you see on screen there, go to TomTaylorSports.com/contest, and that's how you can get qualified to win. We're going to give away a pack, a 4-pack, a family 4-pack. That's it. 2 adults and 2 kids tickets for the next 5 Fridays. So be sure and go there and do that right now. In fact, there's some extra incentives to go there as well. And let's see if we can. Once you go there, it'll tell you more. TomTaylorSports.com/contest. Again, once you go there, you'll see the prompts where you can get some extra chances to get your name in the bucket to win tickets to that Saturday afternoon of racing, the Fitzgerald Gliders 300. Also, again, the K&N Pro Series. And get ready to go racing here at the world's fastest half mile. We'll give that away this Friday. Every Friday, giving away a family 4-pack, which is 2 adults and 2 kids tickets, absolutely free, to a great place here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile. Well, you look at March Madness. We're going to take a break, come back and look at March Madness, and you will see. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm on my soapbox about this. This goes back to the college football playoffs. I don't get it. And what I'm talking about is you're having tournaments to decide who the number 1 team is, and so the teams that should have won did not, aka North Carolina, and Kansas, and yet they're named number one seeds. I don't understand that. I'm old school. If you're going to play a tournament and you base your seedings and your tournament on how the tournament winds up, and you don't win the tournament, you should not go in as a number one seed. I got nothing against North Carolina. I got nothing against Kansas. I understand it's big business. I understand they're supposed to be there, and they're the projected number one seed, and I get all that. Okay? But if you're the projected number one seed and you don't win, then you shouldn't be able to be the number one seed. And if you're the projected number one seed and all this is just a formality because we're going to go ahead and put you in there anyway, then why in the crap do you have the tournaments? I don't get that. Makes no sense to me at all. But again, you look at the top of the Midwest bracket, Kansas at number one after getting beat in the Big 12 Conference tournament. Then you have North Carolina number one out of the South, and they got beat in the ACC tournament. Duke wins 4 games in 4 nights, and without question one of the toughest conferences in America, and they go in as the number 2 seed behind Villanova. So winning 4 games in 4 nights, including defeating North Carolina, does not get you anything if you're Mike Krzyzewski and the Duke Blue Devils, which again I don't get it. But we'll talk more about that. Drew's going to be by here in a few minutes, and we'll see what he allows. We are time-wise at 11:28. Weatherman says cloudy today with afternoon rain. Near 50, which is where we are right now, 48 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, light rain. Overnight low near 30. There will be some mountain snows possible tonight. Tomorrow, scattered snow showers primarily to the north and east of the Tri-Cities. Daytime high tomorrow only near 40. Winds tomorrow, again, 10 to 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, cold, breezy, in the teens tomorrow night. Whew. Where in the world do the 60s and 70s go? So a late winter storm to be sure. They're calling for snow in the higher elevations above 3,500 feet. And so again, you have cloudy afternoon rain today, light rain tonight, mountain snows possible. Tomorrow, scattered snow showers, not much here in the Tri-Cities of Tennessee, primarily to the north and east of us. Daytime high tomorrow only near 40. Winds tomorrow 10 to 30 miles per hour. And tomorrow night, cold and breezy, and overnight low tomorrow night back down in the teens. Again, right now we do have a temperature reading of 48 degrees as we get ready for, how about this today? On the screen you'll see we're going to be proud to bring you, did not realize this, the first ever live broadcast of Elizabethton baseball game. So says the coach. How about that? Or at least under his tenure. He's been here 2 years. This is the first live baseball broadcast today from O'Brien Field in Elizabethton, 4 o'clock airtime. First pitch at 4:30. Again, we're supposed to they moved it up, try and get it in before the rain hits. So Elizabeth and Unicoi County baseball today from O'Brien Field. So we got a doubleheader of sorts. This show till 1 o'clock, then we'll regroup and reload and rejoin you at 4 o'clock again for Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we are looking forward to it for sure to bring you baseball today. Haven't done it for a while, looking forward to it. And again, very honored that Elizabeth would come to me and say, hey, would you call our ball games? And so we are, with a limited schedule, we're going to call them, and looking forward to it. And digital stereo audio coming up again at 4 o'clock today. First pitch at 4:30. We'll hear from Coach Ryan Presnell and talk all about that as well as we move on into the afternoon. All right. So again, don't forget to go to, one more time, let's tell you to go right here on screen, TomTaylorSports.com/contest. Win tickets to the NASCAR Xfinity Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 coming up on Saturday the 22nd. It's a doubleheader. Also the K&N 150 will be prior to the Fitzgerald, or actually after the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300, which is the Xfinity Series. Eric Jones, the defending champ of that race from a year ago. And so all you got to do is go to TomTaylorSports.com/contest and check it out for yourself. Also, while I'm thinking about it, you can support the show. We're going to be doing bigger contests, better contests, and so if you'd like to be part of the show by supporting us, we're talking for $1 a month, or $5 a month, or $10 a month, or $100 a month, whatever you want. We're going to upgrade the equipment. We want you to be a part of it because we want you to be, this is your show, the Lord's show and your show, and so we want you to be a part of it. So go to what you see on the screen, patreon.com, Tom Taylor Sports Show, and again, there's different ways you can be a financial partner on the show, and when you do, depending on whatever level you go on, and we certainly hope that you do. I mean, for $1 a month, I know that's a little low, but $1 a month is $1 a month. Those would add up. and that way we can go get some better equipment. And also, more importantly for you, the viewer and the listener, give you a chance to, we're going to do some really cool contests coming up this spring and summer. And so, more taters in the bucket, as you say, or more taters in the bin, the more we can give away. It's going to be cool. We're looking forward to it. So again, if you'd like to do that, go to that website one more time and click it, patreon.com/The Tom Taylor Sports Show. So, having said, we got all that housekeeping duties out of the way. We're going to take our first break. We're going to come right back, and we're going to be ready to roll. We're going to jump in here and go. Which do we go first, NASCAR or do we go March Madness? Probably, given the fact we're sitting in the lobby of the Bruton Smith Building on the world's fastest half-mile, Bristol Motor Speedway, we will go NASCAR. How about it? We'll talk about it from several different perspectives, Kyle Busch's, Joey Logano's, and all the other drivers, and run down how things went yesterday. So, interesting day at NASCAR. And, this is back in the old days when they had fisticuffs, and sometimes fists were flying in the pits, it's sometimes I think it's too vanilla. I need a little bit more of this. I'm not advocating fighting, obviously, but, it is a tension and a passionate racing format, no question, and a tension-filled race every day. This shows you right here the proof of the race staging, because all of a sudden every lap does matter. And now all of a sudden temper's going to be flaring. Of course, Kyle got out of control, of course, and got mad and went into the pits and paid for it. But I think this is a direct result of race staging, and I would say somewhere, they may not show you, may not show me, but somewhere the NASCAR folks are behind closed doors smiling, going, yeah, this is good stuff, because now the drivers understand every lap counts of every race towards the championship. Of course, Kyle Busch is having a terrible start to the season, and so for all those reasons and more, frustration set in. Las Vegas is his home track, his hometown. He wanted to do good in front of the hometown folks and did not. Of course, he was running pretty good, but of course with the wreck, it really put him back way down in the field. So we'll talk all about that coming up right after this first break. We're live at Bruton Smith Building, in the Bruton Smith Building on the grounds of Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be right back after this. Again, is show number 477 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the crossings in North Johnson City.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are live again here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Bruton Smith Building, having a big time on this Monday. Again, March the 13th. Don't forget Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball. Let's bring it up for you again on the screen. Awful proud of this when I found out that we're the Lone Ranger and having a big time. So Lone Ranger being this is our first broadcast for them, and to my knowledge, for the coach says, as long as he's been there, it's his second season. They've never had a live broadcast of the baseball game, so very exciting. It'll be tonight or this afternoon. They've moved the game up to 4:30, first pitch at 4. Again, Elizabeth and Unicoi County Baseball, we're excited about that from O'Brien Field, and again, we'll bring it to you in its entirety, and we'll do that again thanks to, it's the Valor Fights coming up again this Saturday night at the Evolution Martial Arts Academy in Elizabethton. It's the Valor Fights. It's a mixed martial arts fight, and we'll tell you all about that as we get there to the broadcast today. We'll also hear from head coach Ryan Presnell, and so we got Cyclone Baseball before the rains and the cold weather hits and sets in. We may not play the rest of the week, so try and get this one in today. And of course, Garrett's going to be on the mound today for the Elizabethton Cyclones, and he can sling it, I can tell you that. This kid's the deal, and so we're looking forward to seeing what he can do when he gets out there. And we're talking about the lefty Garrett Hartley, which again has a lot of potential, and we'll probably be hearing from him next year pitching as he's a senior in the college ranks. He'll get a look from somebody who can pitch, so we'll have him on again. Garrett Hartley and the Cyclones battling the very good and always tough and always perennial power Unicoi County Blue Devils. In fact, it's a game of front runners in the conference to get it started in the Three Rivers Conference baseball race right out of the chute. It should be a dandy. And again, it will be, as we said, Elizabeth, Unicoi County, 4 o'clock airtime, first pitch at 4:30 from O'Brien Field in Elizabeth. And so, overshadowing the fight is the victory by Martin Truex. And he did a fantastic job yesterday in the Bass Pro Shop Tracker Boats Toyota, winning it. Kyle Larson came in second. This kid's having a heck of a year. Then comes Chase Elliott. Chase finishing third. We'll run down the points in a moment. Joey Logano, who got mixed up with Kyle Busch, finishing fourth. Brad Keselowski, his teammate, fifth. Then comes Denny Hamlin, who kind of come up out of the ashes after the first 2 races, which were not very good, and had a really good run, finishing sixth yesterday. Ryan Blaney, again, very consistent for the Wood Brothers. That Motorcraft Ford hanging in there, finishing seventh. Jamie McMurray finishing 8th, Matt Kenseth 9th, and Clint Boyer rounding out the top 10. So it looks like, for the time being, Joe Gibbs Racing is beginning to figure this thing out, as Hamlin finishing 6th, Kenseth finishing 9th, so 2 of the Gibbs guys in the top 10. Of course, Kyle Busch finishing 22nd after that last couple laps wreck, and fracas with Joey Logano. Daniel Suarez, again, a 20th finish. So again, your stages were won by Martin Truex, Stage 1, Stage 2, a dominating race. His 8th career Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series victory. And so, again, a couple of cars dropped to the rear of the field right before the race started. That would be Danica Patrick and also Kurt Busch. Not Kurt Busch, but Danica Patrick, and also having go to a backup car was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And so those 2 drivers also having problems before the race started, transmission problems for Timmy Hill. And so, again, 6 caution flags for 34 laps, 14 lead changes yesterday among 6 drivers, and again, won by Martin Truex Jr. So Danica did not have a good day yesterday, finishing 36th. Her boyfriend Ricky finishing 33rd. And so Kevin Harvick, not a good day yesterday in an accident on the 68 lap mark, so he was out, and so he finishes a disappointing 38th. So some changes at the top of the leaderboard, as a matter of fact, again, as we move forward and get ready for the next round of racing, which is coming up this weekend in Phoenix. And so the new points leader would be Brad Keselowski, and so he goes to the top of the leaderboard for the latest changes in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. So a big win there. So it's Brad Keselowski. Let's run them down for you. Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Casey Kane, and Jamie McMurray. And Knoxville's Trevor Bayne, again, that Advocare Ford for Roush Fenway Racing, is a solid 11th right now in points. Yesterday, where did he finish up? Let's check this real quick. I'm scanning up through here. Trevor Bayne finished 13th in the Performance Plus Motor Oil Ford yesterday again. So he finishes 13th after qualifying. He started on the grid 20th and finished 13th yesterday. So top 20 finish for, again, Trevor Bayne. So Keselowski, Larson, Elliott, Truex Jr., and Logano the top 5 in points. Then comes Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, who went from 1st to 8th, Casey Kane, and Jamie McMurray. And again, you're seeing with the fight yesterday the importance of every lap now. Leaving his wreck, number 18, on pit road following yesterday's Cobalt 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Kyle Busch walked briskly, with a purpose, to Joey Logano and the number 22 Ford. Without word, he immediately threw a punch at Logano. Walked right up to him. Nothing was said, or very little was said, it looks like, and he just hauled off and tried to give him a hay baler, triggering a fight between the two on the ground and chaos on pit road involving crewmen and NASCAR officials. A Team Penske public relations employee pulled Logano forcefully away from the incident, while Busch remained on the ground, tussling, as the story says, with several members of the number 22 crew in a sea of yellow fire suits. A NASCAR official pulled Busch from the brawl, and he and another official restrained Busch, shouting "Kyle," as Busch flailed his elbows and struggled to break free. And, of course, the NASCAR guy, I don't know who he is, he's a big old boy, and he kept him away and shoved him out of there and kept him at bay, wouldn't let him get back into the fray. They led him away from the scene as the surrounding crowd reacted loudly. Busch says, quote, "I got dumped," he says, with a trickle of blood rolling down his forehead and onto his nose as he strode away from the track. We were hoping to have that video for you today. We'll have it for you tomorrow or Wednesday. Flat out just drove straight into the corner and wrecked us. That's how Joey races. So, quote, "He's going to get it." Here you go. Busch and Logano were running in the top 5 and racing hard for position on the last lap when Logano appeared to become loose and made contact with Kyle Busch before the final turn, sending him spinning across the track. Logano crossed the start-finish line 4th. Busch finishes 22nd. Now, what compounds this is where he is right now in the points. Kyle Busch is 19th in the points, so he is not anywhere close to where he needs to be. Logano says, quote, "We were just racing hard there at the end, red-faced after the incident. I was underneath him on the backstretch. He tried to crash me into the corner, getting underneath Brad. At that point, I was just trying to get through the corner, so it was kind of teammates there a little bit. I was sideways all the way through and got into him, nothing intentional." Logano goes on to say, "I understand his frustration. The same thing could have happened in turn 3, what he did to me." Aha. So turn 3, Busch apparently did it to Logano. I don't know if it was payback, but I guess they'll have to confess that if it was payback, or he does. Apparently he's not conceding it right now. Logano said he saw Busch walking towards him angrily at the end of the race. There were not any words exchanged prior to the brawl. Logano says, quote, "He wasn't in a talking mood. He was in a fighting mood, I guess. I don't know. Typically you can handle this stuff like men and talk about it. You don't have to fight, but whatever." He continues to say, quote, "I've never had an issue with Kyle Busch. Kyle and I have always raced really well together. We've never had an issue, but I guess that's over. I guess we got issues now." I think you're right. Busch made a trip to the infield care center, and after the pit road spat, was not called to the NASCAR hauler. Interesting. Number 22 crew chief Todd Gordon, along with a handful of Team Penske crew members, did visit the NASCAR hauler after the race, but on their own consensus, according to the NASCAR official. No one was called to the hauler as of yet. Joe Gibbs Racing team owner Joe Gibbs sped away from the garage quickly on a golf cart. NASCAR Vice Chairman Mike Helton and NASCAR Vice President Steve O'Donnell also stepped into the NASCAR hauler, but did not comment on the incident. A NASCAR official said the sanctioning body likely would not make any statements because officials need to review footage before any decisions are made. So both camps are arguing what happened was the other guy's fault, so we'll see. So it's going to be interesting, I can say that, to see how it's going to roll out. Everything, of course, points to the next round, the Camping World 500 in Phoenix coming up this coming Sunday. Kevin Harvick, the defending champ of that race, and so I would think Phoenix right now is probably selling some more tickets as a result of this fracas and this scrape and this brush up or fight, whatever you want to call it. So who's right and who's wrong? You know, Logano says it could have happened back in turn 3. It happened in the final lap and the final turn of the final lap. So he says it could have happened in turn 3. Busch says he got dumped, and now Logano's going to get it. And so I'm sure cooler heads are going to prevail between now and Sunday's race in Phoenix. But again, it's makes for good chatter. 11:47, 48 degrees. We're live again at Bristol Motor Speedway. Speaking of, tickets are available here by going a couple of different ways. Here, 866-415-4158, 1-866-415-4158 for you to call in out of town and get information on tickets. BristolTix, TIX.com. Also 423 Bristol locally. Then you also have the option, of course, stopping by here at the Bruton Smith building in the lobby here. We're right outside the ticket office. You can come in, and there's already been folks in here today buying their tickets. You can go to Food City and get a $50 general admission ticket for a limited time. That'll be in turns 1 and 2 on the Kawiki Grandstand. That'll be cool. And so also there's $10 tickets for the Food City 500 for kids 12 and under. So all this available again. There's many different options for you. There's season tickets for both the spring and the fall race. There's individual race tickets just for the spring. Reminding, of course, the kids here at Bristol, when you get into Bush's Beans Pole Day in, 37 days, as we said, that is a free event for the kids. Saturday's race, the doubleheader, the Canyon Series, and the Fitzgerald Glider 300, that is a free race for kids 12 and under. Then the Food City 500 is only a $10 ticket. So it's all good. Several different ways for you to get your tickets. And I guarantee you, I'll go on record and saying on March 13th, this is not going to be the first incident of the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. There'll be more of these, what we saw yesterday, because now everything means something. We talked about it back in the preseason with several different folks, including our buddy Jeff Birchfield, who's relocated to Florida. Given the fact that before, once you win, you're in, and so a lot of these guys just kind of drove around and took life easy. That's not the case now. Every lap counts for the points, and you saw that yesterday, plus the fact that Bush was going for the win on the last lap, or I don't know if he's going for the win, I shouldn't say that, but he was wanting a top 10 finish. That's where he was headed to do. And so he did not. He got dumped, as he said, and wrecked. And as a result, of course, tempers flared, and the rest, they say, is history. But I guarantee you, this is not going to be the first time this is going to happen from here on in. Promise you. It will be interesting from here on in. 48 degrees, again, cloudy afternoon rain today. Daytime high near 50. We're there. Winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight here in the Tri-Cities, light rain. Again, with a daytime high, or I should say overnight low tonight near 30. Mountain snows are possible above 3,500 feet. Tomorrow, scattered snow showers, primarily to the north and east of us. Again, here in the Tri-Cities, so maybe a dusting here, but most of the snow is going to be to the east and north of us. Of course, they're calling for a nor'easter. If you're going up into Pennsylvania, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all the way up the Atlantic seaboard, I mean, they're calling for 12 to 18 inches of snow in New York City. I can have that. A nor'easter going right up the Atlantic seaboard. So if you're heading in that direction, which is where most of this snow we're being forecasted for is going to happen to the north and east of us, daytime high tomorrow only near 40. Winds tomorrow 10 to 30 miles per hour. Me, oh my, it's going to make that cold. Then tomorrow night, it is going to be cold. Cold, breezy, in the teens tomorrow night. Here's the downside to all this. Of course, we've got to have some cold weather, and so we're getting it late in the season. But the problem with this is you see all the different plants that kind of got a false reading. We said that when it happened, they've started to bloom out, including some of the fruit trees. I know some of the apple growers are extremely concerned, and as well they should be, about the impending cold snap, what it's going to do to the fruit trees and the different things involving the vegetation, all the fruit trees and the different flowers and the different trees that have begun to bud out. So all that looks like it's going to be in serious trouble. It goes down to the teens tomorrow night. That means it's going to be very, very cold. In fact, it's going to be the teens 2 nights running before it's going to warm up by the end of the week. So lots of cold weather coming and lots of repercussions as a result of that. But again, not a thing we can do. The Lord runs the show, and we're glad that he does. Quite frankly, we'd mess up that too. Some school groups coming in here in the lobby of the Bruton Smith building, getting a tour again of Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile. Again on screen, coming up later on today, 4 o'clock airtime, 4:30 first pitch, Elizabeth and Unicoi County Baseball, live from O'Brien Field, the lid lifter for the season. We'll run down the schedule, who's supposed to play today. I think a lot of the teams, if they do play, are going to move games up. This one was to start at 7:30 tonight. They're going to move it up, obviously, to beat the cold and the rain. And so we'll go on air at 4 o'clock. First pitch at 4:30 from O'Brien Field, brought to you by Valor Fights, which is a mixed martial art fight coming up on Saturday evening at the Evolution Martial Arts Academy in Elizabethton. So we'll talk more about that today during the course of the broadcast. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll take a break, come right back. We'll talk more about NASCAR. We've got March Madness, got some baseball. Daniel Norris from Johnson City pitching on Saturday. Took the loss. I don't know. Maybe okay, maybe not okay. Looks like to me got knocked around a little bit. We'll talk about that next as we work our way through again this Monday, March the 13th, on the road at Bristol Motor Speedway on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop, so it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitat, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again at 11:56 on this Monday, March the 13th. We've got a school group in here of sorts getting ready to get a tour. Have taken a tour, so they are getting ready to kind of hang out here for just a little while in the lobby of the Bruton Smith building. As you can hear the background noise, I guess. If you can, great. If you can't, there are here. There's probably about 25 or 30 kids in here, which appears to be a school group. Here's we're live at the Bruton Smith building at Bristol Motor Speedway. Don't forget, let's go back again to the contest. We want you to win tickets. Look right here on the screen, TomTaylorSports.com/contest. You can win tickets to the NASCAR Xfinity Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 on us here on the show. And also the K&N 150. That's that doubleheader on Saturday, April the 23rd, which is 38 days away. All you've got to do is go to the website you see there, TomTaylorSports.com/contest, and the RWB giving you a chance to, again, get qualified, and it's very easy to do. And so All the information, the instructions to do that are right there on the website. Also, don't forget, coming up at 4 o'clock today, Elizabeth and Unicoi County Baseball here on the show. And so we're looking forward to being here on Facebook with the Cyclones and the Unicoi County Blue Devils. Let's run down again some of the other games that are to be played today. All, of course, weather permitting. It'll be Science Hill hosting Daniel Boone at Cardinal Park. As we said, Elizabeth will be in our game at Unicoi County. Also, you have tonight, you have Sullivan Central hosting the Crockett Pioneers in their conference opener. Happy Valley goes to Colonial Heights to battle Sullivan South. Unica battles Avery County, North Carolina. That's all scheduled. And, again, high school baseball, again, for 2017. But, again, on the screen, it looks to be our first ever Elizabethton High School, according to the coach, first time they've ever been on, which is pretty cool. Time they've ever been on the air. In the 2 years he's been the coach, so pretty neat stuff. Tom Taylor Sports Show streaming audio, the Elizabethton Unicoi County High School baseball game. They moved it up because of the rain coming in, and so we'll start at 4 o'clock, first pitch at 4:30. Digital stereo, it's audio only, but it's going to be good. And it's the what a way to get it started. Garrett Hartley, young man who's going to be pitching somewhere next year, the southpaw for Elizabethton, who is a heck of a pitcher. He is control. He'll be again ready to go as the starting pitcher for the Elizabethton Cyclones. We will hear from Coach Presnell about that very topic. The pregame show coming up here right around 4 o'clock this afternoon. We are in studio today, studio being inside the Bruton Smith building. It feels like studio, it feels like home here. And again, we're live in the lobby of the Bruton Smith building. There's a school group, which is cool, getting school tours, and that's what it's all about. Drew Bedard, these young people, that's the name of the game, getting them hooked into NASCAR. And, of course, the track's got a you're not going to. So
okay. No problem.
No problem. I meant to tell you that. They hear us, but we don't hear each other. But I bell her and you bell her, so it won't be a problem. They can hear us. No problem. So, no problemo. So anyway, these kids, this is the future of the sport right here. They get to come up here and watch racing free on the Bush's Beans Pole Day and also the Saturday doubleheader, and only a $10 ticket to get these kids in on Sunday for the 25th anniversary of Food City 500. So everything's good, and
yeah.
Anytime we got a lobby of kids, that's a good thing. Good morning, by the way, sir. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the kids pricing, kids programming is it's exciting. We're definitely selling a lot of kids tickets right now, especially Food City. It's really pushing those, and that's helping us a lot. But yeah, like you said, Food City 500, just $10, and then for the weekend, kids can come in here for free on Friday for Bush's Beans Pole Day, and for Saturday's doubleheader, Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 and the Zombie Auto 125, which is, it's actually the same company, United Mining Equipment, which was from Pit Light. That was the Pit Light 125. It's the same company, just a new brand that they're presenting and wanting to push this year and into the future, which is Zombie Auto. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Okay, Drew coming through loud and clear. Thank you, Jeremiah. So the new race title is Zombie
Auto 125, yes, sir.
Zombie Auto 125. Got to put that back up on the screen.
Chewing gum on the radio, is that?
That's good.
Actually, this is a TV show now, right? Yeah.
Yep, so go right here again, go to TomTaylorSports.com/contest and get qualified now. It's the Zombie Auto 125 and the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 coming up again on the 23rd, which is 38 days away. How about that?
Oh, man.
Bush's Beans Pole Day, 37 days out. There's Drew again. We will have a camera. We had a little snag. We always have snags. The enemy doesn't want this show to go, but we're bigger and stronger and better. So we're going to have the camera ready to go probably by Wednesday. So there's going to be a new camera, which rolls right into this, Drew. Why don't you give me a pitch for folks who want to be a patron, patron.com/the Tom Taylor Sports Show, because as folks want to support the show financially, then it'll give us a chance to get more equipment, upgrade the equipment, pretty cool stuff. And so This is something folks are doing around the country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Actually, a big advocate of this is Jeff Gluck, which Jeff was the one who had the big time video yesterday of Kyle Busch slugging Joey Logano. But yeah, I think this is great, and people can go to that link that they see on the screen, patreon.com/Tom Taylor Sports Show, and donate $1, $5, $10, but that just supports the show. This is really a fan-funded, your show for a long time. We're proud to host it here, proud to be partnered with you, but, for a long time, it's been your sponsors, it's been your fans. That's the ones that are supporting the show and making it go, so just ask that everybody go to that link and check it out. You can go to TomTaylorSports.com too, right?
There you go.
Well, I'm like your best promoter here, man. Yeah, but I think people ought to do that. That's a great deal, and it will help just keep pushing this show forward. So that's really cool.
It's the name of the game. So again, we'll have a webcam ready to roll, a more sophisticated web camera, hopefully by Wednesday. We're at Chick-fil-A. Tomorrow we may be taking. We got some folks on spring break this week, and so I promised them one day to go do something with them.
My wife's got a couple kids on spring break this week too. So
you understand, and they're only little ones. I promise you. So
yeah.
Get a chance to take a step away from one day and hang with them. So
yeah, she said you want to do lunch this week? I said absolutely.
There you go.
I love having lunch with my kids.
Absolutely, it's the name of the game. All right, let's jump in here and go. Let's talk about yesterday. Overriding
awesome.
Martin Truex Jr.'s win. This guy was a dominant. He won both stages, won the race, hands down. But all the talk is what happened in the pits. That's going to sell tickets not only for this week in Phoenix, it'll sell tickets the rest of the way. Talk about it. Logano versus Busch, and it was the thriller in Manila.
It was an interesting moment in the race. I don't, it was almost like Fox didn't see it too well. It didn't pick. I mean, you could see them coming down the backstretch. Keselowski was losing his car, and Kyle Busch was coming up, pulling up behind him, and Logano on the inside. And so they had a little touch there on the backstretch, and then as soon as they got to the corner, Logano, and I think people have gone back and forth on this morning of whether, as Kyle put it, he dumped him, or was it really that Joey just was losing, he just lost grip on the bottom. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's, here's my conspiracy theory, is that Joey was losing grip on the bottom, but he used Kyle's car as kind of a backstop. That, kind of used it to propel him, and unfortunately it knocked the back end out of Kyle. They get down on the pit road, and Kyle slyly, so the great video that Jeff Gluck got was that Kyle appropriately, in the NASCAR sense, got out of his car and just started walking that direction, and then turned the corner at the 22 car and just cold-cocked old Joey Logano in the face. But, it's funny because everybody's talking today, which I thought was great. NASCAR sent out an email this morning to all their people that are subscribed to their email list, and it said pit road brawl, which I think is great because they're embracing the fact, look, man, look at the most popular sports, look at the most popular things on TV right now, and it's tension, it's drama. It's whether it's WWE or UFC, whatever sport you watch, but people want drama. March Madness is a great example. It's coming up this week, man. Tension, drama, the little guy, the underdog, David versus Goliath. You want to see that on a weekly basis, so I love it. I think it's great, and I don't think they should fine Kyle. I think, he was upset about something. He went over, and sometimes men have fisticuffs, and that's just the way sometimes things are handled. I mean, you certainly don't want anybody throwing somebody on the hood of a car or anything like that, but that may be coming, though. You never know. I think somebody at some point is going to be walking down pit road. Someone's going to throw him a chair, hit the guy over the back like wrestling. So I hope that
all the turnbuckle.
Yeah, I think it's great. And it provided the tension and drama that you need with NASCAR. I think it was also great yesterday to see Martin Truex Jr. win. He's a huge fan favorite. Obviously, we're happy that he won with Bass Pro Shops on the hood. Johnny Morris there in Victory Lane. Thought it was terrific. So I know people could have gone back and forth on the race, but I thought the action was pretty good. I thought it was good. I mean, that late pass, I think it's I think NASCAR's going in the right direction right now. I think the stages are providing a little bit of drama, and you're going to see it all unfold here in a little less than 40 days, and people love Bristol. So we had Pat Patterson on our Bristol Motor Speedway Facebook page this past weekend, and sure enough, he gets a lot of people coming by the RV. On Friday, he had Elliott Sadler come on, and Elliott talking about, man, they love coming to Bristol, can't wait for the drama, can't wait for the excitement, talking about, we're going to be doing the VHT on the bottom groove again, making it sticky. He's saying more of that, more of that, more of that. I mean, I think, hearing drivers talk about Bristol and how excited they are to get here, and now you just up the the ante a little bit with some fighting, beating, and banging. So
I'll make this prediction: this will not be the first time this happens, because they may not ever say this. Somewhere in the cozy confines of the headquarters of NASCAR at Daytona Beach today, maybe the doors are shut, they're grinning, and maybe, this is my opinion, they're high-fiving going, this is what we want, because now, not necessarily the fights, but now every lap counts. It's drama every lap of every race, and I think you're going to see more tensions flaring, and I guarantee you'll see some up here at Bristol when they get in here in about 38, 39 days. But, and of course, again, Martin Truex Jr., for everything he accomplished yesterday, he dominated that race. We've spent the last 10 minutes talking about the fight, and so it kind of goes back to and I read some of the quotes of some of the drivers this morning. This goes back to the old days, short track racing, where tempers flared, and it's just the good old boys. And
yep.
Hey, it is what it is, and it's selling tickets. And
hey, man, it's emotional.
It's
I mean,
absolutely.
you get wrecked on the last lap, and you were about to finish third or fourth or wherever Kyle was. I mean, you're mad.
Absolutely
it's
mad.
Plain and simple. I would be mad too, and I think it's good for the sport, and I love the fact that now we're going to have. Coming into Bristol, people are going to be talking, and they're going to be saying, man, short track racing, it's back, and what's it going to be, what's going to happen, and that's what you want. That's why you go. It's entertainment, right? It's sports and entertainment. You want to be entertained. Sorry to be all Roman Coliseum on you there and gladiator style, but
it's
that's
not
what
just
you want.
Another race. It's Bristol.
It's Bristol, baby.
Oh, yes. By the way, Jimmy Conkin, thank you, my friend. We've been on the air with this promotion for about 30 minutes, and so we've already got our first qualifier for the tickets. So Jimmy Conkin's in. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And so there'll be a whole lot more. Why would you not? Again, get on there, TomTaylorSports.com/contest and enter. And, in fact, Jeremiah's giving you a couple of extra bells and whistles to put your name in there 2 or 3 times. If you give us a little bit more information about what's going on and you like us and share us, you get more chances to win tickets. Again, the Camping World 500 coming up this weekend in Phoenix. Then they go to California, then to Martinsville, then to Texas, and roll right in here to the Food City 500. You look at the points. Again, we're going to get into March Madness here in just a second, too. We're talking to Drew Bedard. We're live here at Bristol Motor Speedway. It is 12:08. Gosh, where's this show gone? 12:08, and we're with you to 1 o'clock, and then we get ready to head over to Elizabethton for a baseball game.
That's great.
So we're doing double duty today. New points. Of course, Kevin Harvick drops from 1st to 8th. He had a disappointing finish yesterday, finishing 38th out of 39 cars. Kozlowski, your new points leader. Look at these two guys right here.
I love it.
The up-and-coming face of NASCAR.
Kyle Larson.
He's
going to break. Both of those guys are going to break through. They may have big years. And now you've got the phone number for Ryan right here, just in case you need it. If anybody needs to call Ryan, TomTaylorSportsShow.com/contest, or just call Ryan. Loving the points right now. Love to see Martin Truex Jr. up there, but Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, the young guns, man, it's fun.
Ryan Blaney.
It's lively. Ryan Blaney, how good is he running right now? I think it's terrific. So, I mean, you got all these good storylines coming into the the spring season for NASCAR and coming into Bristol. I mean, it's just fun. It's fun to watch.
And in Hendrick camp, the forgotten driver, at least I think it is, Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott Jr., and then you've got Casey Kane, who quietly sits in 9th in points. You got Jamie McMurray with Chip Ganassi currently 10th. How about out in Knoxville? Trevor Bayne currently 11th. Again, and the Evacare Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. So some great storylines and some of the big guns you would think would be up top. Right now they're not. Obviously one would be Kyle Busch. Jimmy Johnson currently 18th in points. Denny Hamlin 15th in points. So Kenseth 13th. They're kind of on the outside looking in right now. But the season's young, heading off to Phoenix. But the storylines are building. Again, obviously Penske's having a great start with number 1 and number 5 in the points with Kozlowski and Logano. And again, the two young guns. Is it safe to say, in your humble opinion, these guys are the new face of NASCAR going forward? Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, obviously Kyle Larson. Is that the new guys coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what we're seeing from these guys. And yes, they are the new face because, we don't know how much longer we've got with some of the more veteran drivers. You don't know how much longer Kenseth and some of the others are going to be around. I think it's terrific. It's exactly what the sport needs. They need some energy, and good to see Kyle kind of get up there and mix it up. And I think it's all signs pointing in the right direction. And I think it gives kids, again, we were talking about kids at the outset, is that giving kids a reason to come to the track and say, I've got these guys. I've got this guy in the 42 car, I've got this guy in the 24 car, or I've got this guy in the M&M's machine that I just love. A lot of little kids love Kyle Busch. It's all good things for kids because then they hook themselves to a new hero, even though, one of them slugged another one yesterday, but some kids love that too. So, but it's all good fun. And, they came out with the Cars 3 promotion a couple of weeks ago and with a bunch of the drivers, and think that's, all the things they're doing with Disney. I think, the kids programming that they have at tracks now, I think we're going to have a lot of fun this year, and I think families should be encouraged. And I know that's what people are entering to win through your contest, is through the Saturday race. We'll give you a couple tickets, and then hopefully give you a couple kids tickets as well, and get your family out here for an awesome doubleheader. I mean, it's a full day of racing. It's not just an afternoon doubleheader. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and goes all the way to the evening, and then we've got more activities after dark. I mean, it's a blast.
Before we go to the break, we'll come back to switch gears, talk a little March Madness. Again, we're talking to Drew Bedard for a few more minutes. Glad to have him here. We're live in the lobby of the Bruton Smith Building. Here's the way to go: 866-415-4158 for tickets if you're out of town. In the area, 423 Bristol, or go to bristoltix.com, or again, just stop by here at the ticket office, the Bruton Smith Building, your travels here on the grounds of Bristol Motor Speedway.
That's right.
And then if you want to win tickets, there are you be. You can win them right off this show. Again, the Fitzgerald Glider 300 and the Zombie
Auto 125.
The Zombie Auto 125. The
they're gonna restore cars. That's why they're calling it Zombie Auto. Boom.
Zombie Auto 125. Absolutely. So all this coming up. Again, we'll take a break. Come right back. And I'm upset. I know nobody cares, but I'm upset about March Madness because I think the system is flawed. We'll talk about it. Bucks getting ready to play the Gators. We'll talk all about that. We'll come back and talk to Drew Bedard from Bristol Motor Speedway. Coming up next here, we're live at Bristol. Again, on Facebook Live, you're listening to the 477th show of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the crossings in North Johnson City.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
We're back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. There he is, Drew Bedard of Bristol Motor Speedway.
Got my name up there and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're special, man.
This is professional. I'll tell you that much.
AppalachianDigital.com is the way to go, folks. I'm telling you. You've met him, Jeremiah Clark and Michael.
Great guys.
Oh, yes. And
great guys. Doing a good job.
Transformed this whole gig into aside from me being here, a pretty professional gig. So 'cause I'm hitting buttons. I never know what I'm doing.
Very professional show.
Yes, thank you very much, and I appreciate that. I appreciate Michael and also Jeremiah. Hello to Chip Pratt, by the way, and Dave Martin. Again, we were on their show at WKRC in Cincinnati on Saturday night talking NASCAR, talking Bristol Motor Speedway, pumping tickets to the Cincinnati audience. And so hello to Chip Pratt and also Dave Martin again on WKRC in Cincinnati, a talk show. We were there as their guest on...
Sounds like they'd have a jingle. WKRC.
Cincinnati.
There it is, yeah.
You remember watching that show?
I don't. What is it? Was that really the call sign?
KRP.
KRP, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
There it is.
Have you ever seen tell me you've seen the Thanksgiving promotion, the show, where they drop the frozen turkeys out of the helicopter?
I don't think I.
Oh,
I was a youngin' then.
You got to see that,
Yeah.
because Thanksgiving promotion, they drop turkeys out of the sky, and so Mr. Carlson, the station owner, last thing he said, he says, "God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." They dropped these turkeys out of and they all start hitting tops of cars and stuff, and I'll have to let you watch the
And he was
episode.
fired the next day. No,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I think Chapel Hill's going all the way. There you go. There's my prediction. I'm just kidding.
Carolina all the way? Well, I'm upset.
I'm just kidding.
right,
This is the first glance I've taken at this. So
You're a sports guy. We're talking Drew Bedard again from Bristol Motor Speedway, the Senior Director of Brand Management, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. And so here's my take. You play conference tournaments, you win the tournament, you get the number 1 seed. You don't win the tournament, you shouldn't get the number 1 seed.
Okay.
Kansas,
so Chapel Hill getting beat by Duke.
Kansas,
they were
gets
out.
beat. TCU, they're not the number 1 seed.
Okay.
If you're not going to put any weight in the tournaments any more than that, okay, well, they got beat, but they're still going to be number 1. Well, then why play the tournament? That's not fair to TCU or anybody else. I can't remember who won the Big 12 now. I guess it was Iowa State. They beat West Virginia. I think that's who won it. Anyway, Kansas did not win it. But more importantly, you look at Duke. I got no problem in North Carolina. I like Roy Williams. I like the Tar Heels. But Duke wins 4 games in 4 nights, including beating North Carolina in the semis. North Carolina goes into the number 1 seed. Duke goes into the number 2 seed behind Villanova. So, again, it goes back to the college football thing, which is a whole other topic when Ohio State and Penn State in the Big Ten, and Ohio State goes. But in this scenario, okay, I understand it's big money. You want these guys at the top, and I totally get all that. But, again, if the purity of the game, if we play a conference tournament and I beat you, you shouldn't be number 1 because I beat you. And Duke goes into the number 2. Now, am I all wet behind the ears?
I can go along with that. I can go along with that. So it seems a little strange. But
Well, to me, why play the tournaments if you're not going to honor the teams to win them? And again, I got nothing with North Carolina. I like the Tar Heels, but they didn't win the tournament. These guys, Duke won the tournament, so I would think by virtue of winning the tournament, winning 4 games in 4 nights in a pretty tough conference, you should be the number 1 seed. Or goes in as the number 1 seed.
But there's got to be a theory on the other side of body of work.
What's the
but you're
rationale?
right. I mean, I think you got to look at who's peaking at the right times, and if Duke, I mean, they ended up with a very similar record too, didn't they?
So at the end of this regular season, if this is how they're going to do it, I just say, forget it. Just seed them now. How they finish the regular season. Forget the tournament, because the tournament, in my mind, doesn't matter because of what happened. But and then you look at the South region. Kentucky's squawking because they got the number 2 seed. Now, check out the South region.
Are they playing Northern Kentucky in the first game?
Yes. Now, out of the South region, look what they've got, or who they've got. North Carolina, Kentucky, UCLA, and Butler, top 4 seeds. Now, Calipari says, look, down on the bottom, we're playing Northern Kentucky. If we beat these guys, well, you should. We've got Wichita State and UCLA looming on the horizon. Now, my argument is, if you're going to play, you play. Whoever comes, I mean, you can't have candy cream puffs till you get to the, Sweet 16. You got to play,
Or whatever however that analogy goes.
Yes, tough division. In fact, tough division. Number 1 seed in the Midwest is Kansas, Louisville, number 2, 3 is Oregon, 4 Purdue, number 5 Iowa State.
Wow.
All right. In the East, you got Villanova, Duke, Baylor, Florida takes on East Tennessee State. I don't think that's a gimme for the Gators. I think the Bucks can compose. I don't know if they can
think that'll be a popular upset out there somewhere.
I think they
that'll be on a lot of brackets. Yeah.
Yes, and they can give the Gators
brackets. Or Gators have a second-year head coach.
Yes,
still young, still up and coming.
Bucks
maybe cruise through the SEC a little bit.
Yep. So they're the 4th seed. 5th seed out of the East is the Virginia Cavaliers. The Hokies are in this year. First time since 2007. They're going to take on Wisconsin. Bucks play Thursday, 3:10 in Orlando against Florida. Should be a home game for the Gators. But
Go Bucks, by the way.
Go Bucks. You better believe it. Then in the West, you have Gonzaga. You have Arizona, Florida State. Keep an eye on Florida State. They're a dangerous team. West Virginia could cause some problems. Then you got Notre Dame. It's the top 5 in that bracket. So first blush at this bracket, what do you think, Mr. Bedard? Who do you like?
I still like Chapel Hill coming out of the South.
All right.
I'm a big fan of Louisville. I think that they've got a strong program. I tend to never, vote against
Pitino.
Old Rick.
Yep.
How about my Celtics, by the way, this year?
Yeah,
It's number
they're
2 in the
rolling.
East. I mean,
They're
come
rolling.
on, man. Come on, Celtics.
They won last night too.
Love the
Bulls.
hot streak that Duke is on, so I like them to come out of the East. I could literally see. So I'll cut to the chase and get all the way to the end. Is that I could realistically see Duke running the table in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've got a pretty not an easy bracket, but a simpler bracket than most. I think they can beat Villanova, and then taking on could Notre Dame sneak out of there in the West? Like you said, could Florida State? I don't know if they're going to make it through Arizona, but I don't know. Whoever comes out of the West, I think Duke has a legitimate chance to make it to the national championship game. And then you're going to come down to what? Chapel Hill, Kentucky. You gotta expect those are 2 extremely strong programs that'll probably come out and be at the South Final. And then again, Louisville. I'm kind of on Louisville in that Midwest region. So I don't know. I would love to see. I think all college basketball. I think it would be extremely interesting if Chapel Hill and Duke made it to the final.
Oh
man, that would be fun.
Absolutely.
And then you got you got the storyline of the season going back and forth, and Duke taking the last one, and in pretty good fashion. So, you know what? That's why they play the games, man. I just can't wait to watch it. I am wrong every year. I'm the worst gambler. So, whatever I put on this sheet, don't copy it, and don't say, so you're going to go back on this broadcast in a little while and say, Drew said Duke was going to run the table and take on Chapel Hill in the championship, and it's probably going to be Gonzaga versus University of Virginia or somebody. Exactly, yeah. It's going to be Oklahoma State, and I'm going to be terribly wrong. But that's why they play the games, and it's so much fun. What a great time of the year. So NASCAR's heating up, baseball's heating up. March Madness, I love this because you got to get that break in that early February, mid-February time frame. This is great. What a ball.
I do 3 brackets every year. I do one that legitimately sit down and try and analyze it. Then I do one just for kicks, nicknames against each other.
Oh, that's fun.
And then I do the other one, which is just colors. Okay, this color team would be red. This team's blue. I like blue better.
I'm going all blue. Yeah, gotcha.
And it's funny because I go back and look. The one I do the best on every year is the nicknames. When I just go, Jayhawk.
I'm going to take the Squawking Donkeys versus the Bluebirds, the Blue Hens.
Yeah. Right here, the Michigan Wolverines and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Well, I think a Cowboy could shoot a Wolverine, so I'm going to take Cowboys.
Oh, that's good. That's a good rationale. I like that.
That's how we do these things. So
isn't that how? I've seen females win these things a lot, and
yes,
it's because they'll be like, I don't know much about these teams. I'm not generalizing. I'm not saying all females. There are females that are way smarter than me on basketball strategy. But that, my wife has done a bracket before, and she'll say, well, tell me what the mascots are. I'm like, okay, well, that one. And then she ends up with a better bracket than I do most times.
There you go.
It's because you can never predict. These things are so much fun to watch. So
Maryland Terrapin and an Xavier Musketeer. So I would go Musketeer.
Thing with the gun again?
Yeah, the gun. He killed the
guy with the gun.
Yeah. So there you go. It's going to be a lot of fun. But so I look at the South Regional. I mean, look at all you talking about tradition rich. UCLA, Kentucky, North Carolina, all coming out of the same bracket. There could be some great matchups as time marches on.
And Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, the Blue Raiders taking
How about that, man?
The Golden Gophers. So you got local interest, Middle Tennessee. You've got obviously East Tennessee State, very local. The
Can we talk about the Vols for a second?
No, not really.
No, I know they're not in this. Where are we? I mean, the basketball program. What are you hearing from your guys? Who's your weekly Vol? Kevin.
Well, what I'm hearing is the new athletic director is going to analyze both basketball programs under a microscope pretty thoroughly. So They laid an egg last week, 59-57, losing to Georgia. Had 12 lead changes. I mean, they had every opportunity to win that game and did not, right down to the last couple of shots. So they went out with a whimper. They're probably going to go to the NIT because of their fan base and because of their tradition to the program, but that's not where they want to be. I like Rick Barnes. He's still using Tyndall's players, so I would think if I'm the new AD, of course, he's going to make some moves just to show he's the new AD, or maybe he's going to let things go, roll on for a while. But as long as you're playing with Tyndall's guys, give him one more year to go out and get some more horses, and then analyze him.
All right.
Because he's still doing with Donnie Tyndall's players, and they laid an egg against Georgia, but I think they'll go to the NIT. Lady Vols, that's a whole different animal there, because they were running peaks and valleys and had a little momentum at the end of the season and got smacked down by Alabama. They're going to go in as probably an 8th or 9th seed. They'll announce the pairings of the ladies tonight. But answer to your question, I think there's legitimate cause for concern for the Lady Vols. Again, you're playing with the other guys' players. I think you give him one more year, and at this time next year, if things haven't gotten any better, because they're 16-16, and you look up here in Johnson City at 27-7. So, which has nothing. It's apples and oranges. But the local guys are doing good. The fan base in Knoxville says these guys are doing good. Why can't we do good? That's what I'm hearing.
Sure.
So,
okay. Well, thank you for that in-depth analysis on the Vols right there.
If you're Steve Forbes,
watch out.
$150,000 to show up July 1st, but you got NC State, you got a lot of Missouri's looking for a coach. You got some pretty good programs out there that's got some extra loot. So
how long is Coach Forbes around for?
He just re-signed his contract for 3 more years, and again, they've given him some monetary mile markers. So July 1st, if he walks in the office, he gets $150,000 to hang. Plus a stipend of $27,000, so that's pretty good. That'll get you some groceries at Food City.
That's right.
And some race tickets at Bristol.
Yep. Do both at Food City.
Exactly. Thank you. Good.
Bing.
Great segue. This guy's a marketing guru. So, question is, if you're Steve Forbes, and only he can answer this, but if I'm sitting there happy to be in Johnson City, and then here comes Raleigh, NC State waving money, or somebody else waving money, you get one shot at it, of course. Daddy used to say, life's like marbles, it's keepsies, you only get one shot. He used to say, life is like a coin, you can spin it any way you want to, but you only get to spin it once. And he was right. So if you're Forbes, do you stay with the money here, or do you get lured by a bigger program? And only he can answer that.
That's
obviously.
right.
But,
that's right. Money talks, though.
Sure. So there's a lot of what-ifs out there right now, and the coaching carousel will really kick in during this tournament because guys will get let go. And so right now the top two that I can think of are NC State and Missouri. Now, Missouri's not a basketball, but it's SEC.
Sure.
And there's money.
NC State's a basketball school.
Yeah.
So that could be legitimate. But speaking of marketing, I got to go back to my job. But thank you, sir. The bracket, I think I'm gonna pick Duke, even though I like Chapel Hill. But
can we go 1-on-1 against each other? Can we do a contest, me versus you? And
sure.
The winner, where are you gonna take me to eat if I win?
I don't know. You tell me. Phil's Dream Pit or something like that. Is that right?
Have you ever been out there?
I haven't.
Are you a barbecue guy?
Absolutely.
Oh,
love it.
We need to carve out an afternoon where I'm going to treat you.
Literally carve out an afternoon.
Did you hear that?
Carve out an afternoon.
I know. You
I love
go
it.
back to work. All right. Give us one more time how we can get tickets to Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, locally 423 Bristol 866-415-4158 is toll free, or you can go to bristoltix.com or itsbristolbaby.com. Either one, and give us a call. We'd love to talk through it. And again, if you've got kids that have always wanted to come to the races and you found that it's a little too expensive, great year to bring kids to the track. Free on Friday and Saturday, just $10 on Sunday. And of course, stop into your local Food City. Again, we've got the $50 tickets for adults, and we got the $10 kids tickets right there, and you can buy them on your way out with your value card. What a deal.
There you go.
All right.
It's Bristol, baby.
That's right. Have a great show.
I appreciate you. Good man right there, our buddy Drew Bedard. Appreciate him very, very much. Again, we are here live again at his humble abode, and we appreciate that. We're going to take a quick break. We will come right back. We're live here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, we are on the road today. Tomorrow, probably going to take tomorrow off, I think, because the more it's shaping up to kind of hang with the little people. It's spring break week, and I'm going to do some things with them tomorrow, and then come back on Wednesday at Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City. Again, on Thursday, we'll be live. Thursday we'll be live at Champion Chevrolet. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll be at Food City on Eastman Road in Kingsport. big weekend. As a matter of fact, at Kingsport Speedway. Hello, Bill Patrick. Again, he'll be glad I'm plugging this because coming up on Saturday night, it is the Food City 175, again at the new Kingsport Speedway. Go to the website at newkingsportspeedway.com. Again, the Food City 175. We're going to have several drivers come by. On Friday, we're going to be live at Food City on Eastman Road in Kingsport. And so we're looking forward to talking to, Robbie Ferguson, Cress Van Dyke, Bill Patrick. I'm trying to think of other drivers coming. Ronnie McCarty, I think, is going to be there. So we got several drivers going to be there on Friday, getting ready for the big racing weekend on the 18th. On Saturday night, it's the Food City 175. Check them out on the website at newkingsportspeedway.com. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show again. We are on the road live again at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll come back with more. And got more sports. Daniel Norris, we'll talk about his performance on Saturday, the Johnson City native on the Detroit Tigers starting rotation. How'd he do on Saturday? I'll tell you about that. NBA news, the National Hockey League, and more. All that straight ahead. Plus, again, reminding you how you can get qualified to win tickets to come up here to Bristol through the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll tell you about that right after this. Again, on Facebook Live, show number 477 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Again, we are live at Bristol Motor Speedway at 12:37, again on this Monday. Hey, don't forget, one of our great sponsors, again, our buddy, the Gator Man at Cherokee Barbershop in South Johnson City. Again, he's closed today. Tuesday through Saturday he's open. When the barber pulls out, the Gator Man's in. Again, the haircuts are free at Cherokee Barbershop. It's a man's or men's barbershop. Again, he cuts little guys' hair, puts that booster seat across the chair, and cuts the little feller's hair, but he also cuts the big people's hair as well. Guys here, of course. Lots of sports memorabilia inside the shop. Again, Executive Park South Complex is where he's at. And when the barber pulls out, the Gator Man's in. He's off today. He's off on Mondays, Tuesday through Saturday. Again, haircuts are free. Cup of coffee costs you $11. Get to keep the cup. And so hello to the Gator Man, again, listening to us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's go back again to some college basketball. Again, East Tennessee State picked to play the University of Florida in the first round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Bucks is the number 13 seed in the East. Play 4th seeded Florida in Orlando on Thursday. Let's run down for you the regionals, the first round games of the regional. First off, tomorrow night is the playing games in Dayton, Ohio. You got Mount St. Mary's taking on New Orleans, 19-15 Mount St. Mary's, New Orleans at 20-11. That's game 1. Game 2, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and Kansas State will play tomorrow night, again at 9-10, both of those part of a doubleheader in Dayton, Ohio. Then on Wednesday, North Carolina Central takes on University of California, Davis, and then Providence will battle Southern Cal. Those are the 14 playing games now. 68 teams picked, 64 make it to the big bracketing. The East Regional, first round games in the East will be in Buffalo, New York at the KeyBank Center, in Orlando at the Amway Center, Virginia and UNC Wilmington game 1 on Thursday, Florida and East Tennessee State in game 2 on Thursday. Then you have in the South Regional first round games in Milwaukee and also in Greenville, South Carolina, in Indianapolis, and also in Sacramento, California. First round games again, as we said, in the East in Buffalo, Orlando, Greenville, South Carolina, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's go to the next region. That's the South. Then we go to the Midwest Regional. Opening games are Milwaukee and Indianapolis, and Tulsa and Sacramento. Then the West Regional, again, Buffalo, New York, Orlando, Salt Lake City, and also you have that's your West Regional games in those 3 locations. So then everything moves into the second round of action across this great country. And so basketball cranking up in a big-time way. Tomorrow night, a doubleheader. Mount St. Mary's at 19-15, the play-in game, taking on New Orleans at 20-11 in Dayton. In game 2, Kansas State. Hello. Kansas State takes on Wake Forest. Again, that'll be game 2. Kansas State at 20-13, and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons at 19-13. That'll be coming up again tomorrow night. Those winners move on. The losers are eliminated. Final Four is April 1st and 3rd in Phoenix. Of course, the defending champion Villanova won it last year. So, again, talking basketball, the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State will play Florida on Thursday, 3:10 tip-off at the Amway Arena in Orlando, Florida. So here's some head-scratchers. Wichita State, who was ranked 20th in the country in the latest Associated Press poll, was given a number 10 seed. Syracuse, a controversial bubble team that made it to the Final Four last year, left out this time. Totally. So they're going to the NIT. North Carolina, my problem, got top seeding over Duke despite losing 2 of 3 to the Blue Devils, including the ACC tournament. There's no way they should be a number 1 seed. Duke should be the number 1 seed, won 4 games in 4 days, including beating them rather handily, I might add. North Carolina in that semifinal of the ACC. Duke should be a number 1 seed. They're not, so move on, Tom, let it go. Illinois State of the Missouri Valley Conference was left out, as the selection committee, again, mainly shunned the little guys, giving all 4 of the final bubble spots to teams from the 6 biggest conferences. It goes back to the moolah. Early candidate for the toughest region, no question, the South. You got North Carolina, Kentucky, UCLA, and Butler, the top 4 seeds. Fill out your bracket. Let's have fun with it and see how it goes for you. Again, I do 3 brackets, one legitimately, one I do with nicknames, one I do with school colors. So, of course, the Bucks, I got the Bucks already out of the chute. It's going to be an upset. I think they're going to beat them. I really, really do. I think they'll win, and I think it's going to be an upset of the Florida Gators. I think the Gators, they're okay. They're not a powerhouse, of course, in the SEC, and they're a strong basketball team, don't get me wrong, but the Bucks have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. They're very talented. They can play long when they need to. They're quick, and so I think they're going to I think they're going to pose problems for Florida. I really do. So, and I do think, I'm going to go out on a limb and think that's going to be one of the upsets of March Madness. ETSU is going to knock off the Florida Gators. So, and I hope I'm right. So for you Gator fans, don't want to make you mad, but hey, blue and gold, Bucks here, baby. ETSU, go Bucks. And so again, the East #1 Nova, West #1 seed Gonzaga, and the Midwest the Kansas Jayhawks, who should not be there. They got beat in their tournament too. And then the #1 seed in the South is North Carolina, and they're not worthy of that either. So that's just me. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. Again, be sure, as we're here live at Bristol Motor Speedway, don't forget coming up to be sure and go right there right now. I've already got folks qualifying today. We appreciate that. TomTaylorSports.com/contest, and we'll get you qualified to win the Zombie Auto 125 and also the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 racing coming up in 38 days here in the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway, where we are today on this Monday, March the 13th. Then also a little bit later on this afternoon, weather so far hanging outside, and that's what we want because we are getting ready to come at you with baseball this afternoon. Again, our first game of the season, our lid lifter of the season opener, Elizabethton and Unicoi County. Opening game of the season for the Cyclones. First pitch at 4:30. We'll go on air with the broadcast at 4 o'clock and get ready for Unicoi County and Elizabethton, two teams battling for sure in the Three Rivers Conference race. And so it's going to be a very competitive baseball conference in the Three Rivers, much like basketball. And so we will bring you that first one again. Garrett Hartley on the mound this afternoon, the lefty for Ryan Presnell. And, of course, we'll talk to Coach Presnell on the pregame show. 4 o'clock airtime, 4:30 first pitch. They moved the game up because of the rain and the cold coming in, and so they want to get that in. It's a big game right out of the gate for the 2017 high school baseball season for the Elizabethton Cyclones. And, again, I can't thank them enough. They called me up and said, hey, would you be interested in coming to our ball games? We know, what you can do behind the mic, and it was very flattering, and I really was quite taken back, and I appreciate that very much. So we'll be there, ready to go this afternoon, and it's being brought to you by Valor Fights, which is a mixed martial art fight coming up this coming Saturday at the Evolution Mixed Martial Arts Academy in Elizabethton. So we're looking forward to being a part of that as well, coming up again on this afternoon's ball game. Again, 4 o'clock airtime, 4:30 first pitch. The Cyclones with Garrett Hartley on the mound and the Unicoi County Blue Devils from O'Brien Field in Elizabethton. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Take another quick break. Again, we'll roll into baseball. We've got hockey, college basketball, or rather pro basketball, the NBA, the National Hockey League, some Major League Baseball news, all that coming up again as we begin to wind this thing down. It's been a fast show. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live again at Bristol Motor Speedway. Facebook Live, show number 477. Our big 500th show party will be at Champion Chevrolet coming up in April. We got lots of stuff to give away between now and then, so we'll be right back. And again, don't forget on Friday's show, we're going to be at Food City on Eastman Road in Kingsport on the Food City Friday, and dedicating the show to the Food City 175 coming up on Saturday evening at Kingsport Speedway. We're going to hear from Robbie Ferguson, Chris Van Dyke, Ronnie McCarty. Some of the folks are going to be over there again talking to us on Friday along with Bill Patrick. So it's going to be a great day for, again, the racing. And as we said at the bottom of the Kingsport Times News today, you see the Food City 175 Kingsport Speedway. Gates open 11. Green flag at 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. $10 adults, kids 12 and under get in free. So if you like short track racing, the Concrete Jungle coming up on Saturday afternoon at Kingsport Speedway, the Food City 175. Quick break. We'll be right back. Again, show number 477 on Facebook Live. You're watching and listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the crossings in North Johnson City.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Hey, we're back again at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are at T-minus, what do we got? T-minus 11 minutes left on the show. Again, go to the website right there. Again, already folks qualifying. We just started this morning. Winning tickets to the Zombie Auto 125 and the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300. Just go to TomTaylorSports.com/contest, and there we be. Also coming up today, we've got for you our first ball game. Baseball, weather permitting, they moved everything up from 7:30 first pitch to 4 o'clock, or actually 4:30. Elizabeth and Garrett Hartley on the hill for the Cyclones, taking on the Unicoi County Blue Devils. Big ball game right out of the chute for the 2017 high school baseball season. So it's going to be a good one, and so we'll have that for you beginning at 4 o'clock with first pitch scheduled at 4:30 again from O'Brien Field in Elizabeth. And there we are on the screen. Bring him around here. Let's let everybody see.
Again, ratings going down.
No, it's not. The ratings going up, man.
Too attractive
hunks.
Yeah,
that's it.
Sure.
Chick magnets.
If you like beards, you've come to the right place.
Beards and long hair.
That's right. Well,
I had a guy ask me, well, not you, but
yeah.
Asked me, he said, you know, you look like, or not asked me, I said, no, you look like Willie Nelson. I said, well, look anything like Willie Nelson. Anyway.
You're a 6'5".
6'5", whatever.
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Yep.
So, by the way, let me give a plug to while we're talking about that. The reason the hair is where it's at, I'm growing it with Pantene, and what they do, gosh, it's Beautiful Lengths is the name of it. What they do, they cut the hair and make it for wigs for cancer patients. So it's got to get about another inch longer. Then we're going to whack it off, and so that's the reason I got hair. The length that I've got it for, it's for a reason for cancer patients going through radiation and chemotherapy. So I'm doing it for a cause. I'm having a lot of fun with it, but no, I'm not Willie Nelson. But that's Landon Owen right there. That's our director ticket sales at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Mr. Bush and Mr. Logano got mixed up a little bit yesterday, and I would think that would ring. I think the phones would be ringing because that's going to sell tickets, and it proves to me that every lap counts. Now, granted, Bush was running for a top 5 finish. He says he got dumped. Logano says, hey, same thing could have happened back in turn 3 of the same lap. There's conflicting reports. Everybody's seen the video again of Bush going into the pit and coming out of the bloody forehead. Bottom line is it's going to sell tickets. It shows the importance and the tension of this sport. As I told Drew earlier in the show, somewhere behind closed doors, we may never hear it, but somewhere down in NASCAR they're going, yeah, they're high-fiving because, hey, here we are talking. Having mentioned Harley Martin Truex Jr. dominating the race on both stages, but the talk's been the fight. And, you know, say what you want, it's it's got a lot of interest, a lot of play nationally, helping in a roundabout way NASCAR, but it also helps sell tickets, whether you want to concede that or not. Folks like to see that, right? A little mix up every now and then, a little scrape, a little brush.
I think the scrapes every now and again are a healthy thing. I got to be careful because I don't want
We're not advocating violence.
I'm not, yeah.
No.
But yeah, I think that's okay. Every sport has their little scuff-ups.
Exactly.
Exactly. In hockey, you just get thrown in the penalty box for a couple of minutes or 5 minutes. In other sports, you might get thrown out of the game. Well, the race is over. Emotions are high. It wasn't all that bad. I mean, as far as NASCAR fights goes, probably,
mild.
Most guys don't leave with, cuts or anything.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you go down there by yourself and kind of sucker punch a guy in the face, although he was looking at you, so I don't know how much of a sucker punch it was. But then the whole crew just tackled him.
Yeah, you go into the lines then by yourself, you expect...
Conspiracy theory. Somebody said that Kyle Busch was down in the bottom of the pile taking the blade like they did in wrestling in the old, Ric Flair in the old days. Oh, no one saw him get hit. No, he didn't take the blade. No. But it's, it's fun to see guys compete. And I think that's what the stages have really done, the segments, it's made guys compete. And it's going to make them compete over a longer period of time. Versus, perception, right or wrong, was, people were just logging laps through the middle of the... Yeah.
This is what NASCAR wants. That's
they want
the whole point of this race stages.
And I think they want people to talk about it.
Sure.
And we're talking about it. And
they
want people to be interested, and they're interested. Our sales have been very good for the last, couple months. They're always good here at Bristol, and we're grateful for that. Fans show up in droves every single time we open the gates. But there's a lot of intrigue, especially, I think, the first time through the schedule this year. Mm-hmm. Now, I think once people get to see that, they might some people are taking a wait-and-see model. Some of the traditionalists are like, very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Opposed to change.
Yep. Resistant.
And totally, I understand that too. It was different for all of us too. But now that we've had a chance to see a few races play out, we still haven't seen a short track yet. We'll get somewhat of a glimpse, I think, in Phoenix. Phoenix runs more like a short track, I think, than it does a long one. So these are all good things that are coming up. And Phoenix is always a pretty good race. And I think that we do have Martinsville before us, but that there's one place that scores get settled on this circuit.
Right here.
And it's right here.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're excited that we now have a couple extra weeks to get ready for the Rumble, and we actually can't wait until it gets here.
Again, we're talking to Landon Owen, the director of ticket sales, here on camera here at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Of all the drivers that would have got into a fracas yesterday was Kyle Busch. Now, is he? A lot of folks don't like him anyway. Some do. He's earned more respect for the fans over the years. I guess after that horrific wreck last year and the way he came back and did what he did to win 2 years ago to win the points. So, the question is now, will he be a villain? I remember up here in the past when he got introduced, he got literally booed out of the place. Mm-hmm. So will he become the villain of NASCAR? He's going to sell tickets because you got to have a bad guy. And, does this make him a bad guy, or is it just a guy that, was racing for the win like he always is and got dumped, as he said, and so he let the guy that dumped him know about it. So,
yeah.
I guess my question to you is a long-winded question. Yeah. Is he going to be now the villain of NASCAR?
I think he has been. I don't think people have had a reason to hate anybody, but they don't like Kyle. I like Kyle. I like the bad guy. So Kyle, let's make it happen, buddy. Yeah. But I want people as a promoter. I want people that are polarizing, either good or bad. They create an emotion and a reaction. What happened yesterday certainly did that. Joey is an extremely talented driver. Those two guys are probably, you could argue, the top two talented, driving talent guys on the circuit right now. But for one reason or another, Kyle, I think, probably has a larger fan base than Joey. But I like to see that, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, Tom.
It is a good thing.
Let's
sell them tickets, baby.
Let's rough it up.
Yep. We're talking to Landon Owning, the director of ticket sales. So I look at yesterday's race and I look at some of the young guns. To me, these guys are rapidly becoming the face of NASCAR. Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. You look yesterday again at Keselowski and Logano, 4 and 5 respectively. Penske strong. Denny Hamlin looks like Gibbs starting to come back around. Hamlin 6th. Kenseth 9th, so 2 of the Gibbs drivers finishing in the top 10. Clint Boyer, a solid finish with his new ride for Tony Stewart at number 10. And then you look at the points heading off to Phoenix, and you look at Keselowski, Larson, Elliott, Truex Jr., Logano. How about Wood Brothers, Ryan Blaney? That's a great storyline. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick. Here again, the forgotten driver, in my opinion. You got Jimmy Johnson, you got Dale Earnhardt Jr., you've got Chase Elliott, and you got Casey Kane, who's a solid 9th right now in points.
He's running well this year.
Yeah, Jamie McMurray, then the kid out of Knoxville, Trevor Bayne's 11th. So a lot of storylines right now for this young racing season.
I'll tell you what, Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott are probably 2 of the more fun drivers to watch work their way around the track. Chase is a little more traditional. Kyle, you never know what he's going to do. He's both of them have had leads early this year and have given them up for one reason or another, probably just something to do with the car. But they're so close. And Kyle did break through last year, but I think you're going to see one of those 2 guys probably win one of the next couple of races.
You look at the stage wins. Again, we're talking to Landon Owen, the director of ticket sales here at the Speedway, on camera with us for a couple of more minutes. You got Truex winning both stages yesterday. Look where he is in the points. You go down here, look at Harvick. He's won 3 stages so far. He's currently solid 8th in the points. Of course, Kyle Busch down here at 19th in points, got 1 stage under his belt. But again, the importance of the stage racing, or the race stages, if you will, that's what NASCAR wants or wanted, and it's showing, because the consistent drivers now are being rewarded for doing just that, being consistent.
You need to start strong, you need to race the middle strong, and you need to finish strong. So, like I said, I like what they've done. I know a lot of people were, maybe either confused or perplexed, or why are you changing this, and this isn't what I know. But I think what we've seen after now 3 races is that there is something to this, and the drivers really like it. And if they like it, they're gonna really go out there.
Sure.
And those guys competed hard before, but it's just something seems a little different. Like they're just the whole thing is all kind of coming together. So it's made for a great product. I was at Daytona. It made for a great product in the stands, and it's making for a good product on TV, and it's making a good product for talk radio.
It's making a great product for ticket sales at Bristol Motor Speedway.
You betcha.
1-866-415-4158. Locally, 423 Bristol. On the internet, bristoltix.com. Or if you're in the vicinity, come here in the ticket, the lobby of the Bruton Smith building here on the ground floor, and the ticket office is open and ready to go. And you're open to what, 8 or 9 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Monday through Thursday, 7 o'clock Friday, 5 on Saturday and Sunday.
I never asked you this. I would assume by virtue of the phone, you take more ticket orders over the phone versus folks in person, simply because people from all over the country get the tickets, right?
That's right. And our online business is just as important as our phone. So if you look for that convenience, you can order on your phone. You can order on your tablet, your computer, smoke signal. You can say carrier pigeon, telegram, land shark, whatever you'd like to do. We'll find a way to get you tickets if you want tickets.
Lord have mercy. He's hilarious. All right, so let's switch gears before we run out of time.
All right, let's do it.
College basketball. The brackets are out.
Where's the NIT bracket?
Yeah, for the Qs.
Yeah.
And Marshall.
How about
the Herd?
Oh, they didn't make it, did they?
They got beat by Louisiana Tech in the championship. Or no, they got beat by Middle Tennessee State in the championship. They should be going to the NIT. I love to see them play UT. Wouldn't that be great? Or the Qs. I love to see. I haven't seen the NIT pairings yet.
I don't know if you've seen it. Syracuse plays Greensboro in the first round.
Of the NIT?
Of the NIT.
Have they announced it?
They announced it last night.
Oh.
Now, with all the stuff that Boeheim said about Greensboro not being a value, there's no value playing in Greensboro. Then the minor league baseball team in Greensboro pulled out a promotion. They called it Greensboro or Boeheim No Value Night or something, where they're giving, if you have a Syracuse, New York driver's license, they let you in for free, and they're going to give you like $20 in coupons to use at the game. So that's really cool. Well, then the Syracuse team fired back, and they did we're going to do a Jim Boeheim night, and if you're from Greensboro, you get free admission. And then the NIT selection committee paired the two together in the first round in a 1-8 matchup in the Dome. The only thing that would make it better is if it was in Greensboro. But, it's pretty interesting. But, yeah, I think the bracket came out. Obviously, I would like to see Syracuse in it from a personal perspective. But there's some nice matchups in here. There are some sleepers. Middle Tennessee, you mentioned, they're really, really good. I could see them going Sweet 16. I like ETSU a lot, of course, the local interest, but UNC Wilmington is another one that they actually beat ETSU earlier this year. So there's going to be some good games. There always are, and they call it March Madness for a reason.
We're talking to our buddy Landon Ohm. We're live here again at Bristol Motor Speedway for a couple of more minutes. I just saw the NIT pairings. I didn't think they came out today. That's my bad. I'm a little surprised. I'm running down the NIT here real quick. We'll get back into this in a second.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Monmouth, UNC Greensboro, Syracuse, as you said, Valparaiso and Illinois. Then you have Oakland and Clemson, Indiana, Georgia Tech, College of Charleston, Colorado State, Richmond, Alabama, Boise State, Utah, California at Bakersfield and California. Then you got South Dakota, Iowa, Belmont, Georgia, Colorado at UCF, Akron at Houston, Fresno State at TCU, Texas Arlington at BYU, and Illinois State, the Redbirds, hosting University of California, Irvine. No Tennessee. Wow. And no Marshall.
They were only, one game over 500?
Yeah.
Or at 500?
I figured they'd take them because of the fan base.
Yeah.
They put fannies in the seats. But Marshall ended up, 20 and 15?
I think so. Yeah.
But don't they have this other tournament too,
there's like the one in Vegas, and then there's like the CIT or CBI.
There you go.
One of those. There's like 12 of them now.
Yeah.
It's like bowl games. Everybody gets to play in a postseason tournament.
There you
Yep.
go. All right.
Who you got?
Here we go. All right, I want to get your take. I got into this with Drew earlier.
All
right. Everybody's going to really going to go down this road again, but I am, because I think it bears going down. College tournaments, postseason tournaments, you don't win the tournament, you should not go in as the number one seed. Kansas gets beat by TCU 20 minutes after the game. Well, we're still going to make them a number one seed. They didn't earn it. They're not the number one seed. Then people will say, yeah, but it's what they did in the regular season. Okay. If that's the rationale, then don't have the tournaments, because the tournaments don't mean anything. Duke, I have no problem with North Carolina. I love North Carolina. Love Duke. I love basketball in the South. However, Duke wins 4 games, 4 straight nights in the ACC, including a rather handily won game over North Carolina, and they go in as the number 2 seed. North Carolina does not win the tournament. Duke wins the tournament. They get a number 2 seed. North Carolina gets beat in the semis. They go in number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I totally disagree with that. Now,
if you're saying, okay, the regular season, all right, here's your argument. We're going to take it back to NASCAR. The regular season matters, right? What's the whole thing for them putting in the stages and rewarding championship points was to reward their progress in the regular season and their accomplishments.
Okay.
So NASCAR valued the regular season. That was one of the things that the driver said, hey, I don't win one in the chase, I'm out. In one of those 3 races, I'm done. I'm packing up my bags and I'm going home.
Okay.
So they're giving more weight now to the regular season as well. I think that in these, it's sometimes a crapshoot. I think it depends on who the committee is. I'll use Syracuse as the example. Last year, Syracuse was a bubble team, and they got in, and it's nearly the same committee, except this year they're putting more emphasis on who you lost to versus last year of who you beat or who you beat on the road or your schedule. It's a different criteria that they come out and say every year. And it makes it really hard for the coaches to say, well, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to schedule hard games in the non-conference? Do you want me to win on the road? Do I need to win my conference tournament? The conference tournament gets the automatic bid.
What's the template? So there's always something different, and it's human. There's just the human element in it. I don't discount. I like going with the team that's hot, but I don't like the team that gets hot and wins 4 games. To get, like a number 1 seed that had 9 losses. I think Duke probably had 8. But I think that Duke is probably playing better or as good as anybody out there. And this is the team who we thought they'd be at the beginning of the year. Okay. Everybody had them preseason number 1. So they had some injuries, and you got to take that into account, but nobody really talked about that this year. Yeah. And they're at full strength now, and they're drilling people. Plus, their coach was gone for 6-7 games?
Last year, again, we talked about Syracuse. Boeheim was suspended. They took that into consideration. This year he wasn't. They didn't get in. I like Arizona. I think they're playing as well as anybody right now. I watched some of them. They're one of those teams, of course, we're the East Coast bias and everything that you hear this time of year, but I think they're really, really strong. And I think they've got a good draw that works out to them. I think if you're the number 2 seed in Gonzaga's bracket, you're probably, licking your chops. Mm-hmm. Let me get there. Yes. I don't know that Gonzaga is going to get there. who knows? And that's why they play the games, and that's why they do this. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I still like Villanova and UNC. My two teams are opposite bracket, so they could make it back to the final for a rematch. We had one in college football. Maybe we'll have one in college basketball.
You look at the South region before I let you go. You look at some tradition-rich programs. North Carolina, Kentucky, UCLA, all in the same bracket. So that could be very, very interesting. That's all going to be interesting. The playing games are tomorrow night. You've got, Mount St. Mary's and New Orleans, and Kansas State and Wake Forest tomorrow night in Dayton. And then on Wednesday, North Carolina Central and University of California Davis, then Providence and Southern Cal. Those are your playing teams, and everything gets going on Thursday.
Or Wichita's got to be saying, what do I got to do to get away from Kentucky?
Yeah, really.
I think they got them as the 9 seed the year that they were the number. Wichita was undefeated. They were the 1, and Kentucky was like an 8, and they made their run to the championship game. So they must be saying, what do we do to deserve this at 30-4 and get a 10 seed in a pretty good league traditionally? So, UCLA, Kentucky, North Carolina. That's a hell of a bracket. I'd say there's always one they load up, and I think that's the one this year.
Keep an eye on, and here's, in closing here, I always look at this time of year, my coaches. Big coaches, great coaches come out in big games. You can't count out, I don't think, Louisville and Rick Pitino.
Right.
I don't think you can count out, of course, Bill Self at Kansas, or Roy Williams, or Mike Krzyzewski, or, is Izzo in?
He's the 9 under Kansas.
Okay, you got to watch him too.
I'm sure they're thrilled to see Michigan State as the 9
against Miami. You look at the Hokies are in again in the East, first time since '07, so he's done a nice job. And East Tennessee State again on Thursday at 3:10 in Orlando. It'll be a home game for the Gators, obviously in Florida, but nothing to lose and everything to gain for East Tennessee State.
If they
roll the dice and go, baby.
They get rolling, they're going to have the crowd regardless.
Oh yeah,
upset city.
You're the man.
Buckets.
See you next Monday.
Sounds good. I'll be around.
Can they do it? UNC Greensboro, can they do it?
I think we'll take care of Greensboro. They're a good team. I've seen them play a lot with the ETSU.
Man, they set Boeheim up, didn't they? Put him over there after he made all this complaints. Yeah. Let's just send old Jimmy over there.
He better win.
Yeah,
I had a coach that one day when I was younger playing basketball, and we all had some weird haircuts, and he used to say in the locker room, "You better be good today.
You better be good,
or they're going to give you hell."
So. You got it.
Yep.
All right, brother. Thank you much.
Hey, my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Again, we'll have him on next week. There we go. We're getting ready to head to. Again, we're going to be bringing you high school baseball right here, digital stereo this afternoon. Elizabeth and Unicoi County, the lid lifter of the Three Rivers Conference. We'll go on there at 4 o'clock for the first pitch at 4:30. They moved the game up because of the snow and rain that is coming. Tomorrow, by the way, your weather forecast, how about this? Tomorrow, scattered snow showers, primarily in the north and the east. High near 40. Winds 10 to 30 miles per hour tomorrow. Tomorrow night, cold, breezy in the teens. Oh, yeah, it's Long John weather. All right, we are out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Thanks again for letting us come up here and hang with Drew Bedard and, of course, with my man Landon Owen, Director of Ticket Sales. And we will rejoin you at 4 o'clock, which is inside of 3 hours, with Long John's on and ready to go to bring you a ball game between Elizabethton and Unicoi County from O'Brien Field in Elizabethton. Until then, as always, we tell you, after we just wrap up show number 477, win or lose, be a good sport. See you at 4 o'clock, and thanks for giving us a watch and a listen here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, live from Bristol Motor Speedway. Until 4 o'clock, we say so long, everybody.